Tuesday. We need to find something to take from last week to this week. Looking for anything. And I think we got 0 in the chat. I don't think anybody found a single damn thing. Oh, maybe that was what the Zeke thing was.
What y'all got?
They need to pound the ball with Zeke.
Why me? Okay.
Aisha.
Sounds good.
Tote that thing.
Okay. All right. So one thing that I noticed, it was in the fourth quarter. I think it was 10 minutes, 14 seconds left. It was 4th and 4. Big 4th down play to KaVontae Turpin. Saw the Cowboys line up in a bunch formation. Don't get to see that much. Mm-hmm. Not only that, they motioned Turpin to the outside, out of bunch, to trips left, right. And then they actually got a good play out of that. Yeah. What you thought? Who would have thought? Those are things that work. Those are things that San Fran does. Bunch formation, man beaters, cause some conflict, make people have to make business decisions, and then make them pay on the back end. I do think that if he would have ran a little bit more flat, he probably would have went to the house, but he is kind of yittle. He had to hop for the ball. But do more of that. I don't understand. Even so, I know y'all talking about some freak stuff and happening with San Fran, guys running into each other. Oh, well, that's the point. Like, that's the point of doing crossers or having rub routes and stuff, is that people are supposed to run into each other. If you see that it works, do it. I don't understand. And it's crazy enough because the Cowboys had a season high of 66% of a shift in motion on their plays. Ha, 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 great and dandy. But it's the at-snap motion. And those are things that San Fran does, that push motion, that last-minute change at the line of scrimmage. And that's what I'm asking for them to do. So take some of the stuff they did in this game to the next game because you're going to need it. Atlanta is fun in a weird way.
And Turpin can catch that ball because it's in front of him. He can't catch this ball. But that ball right there, because I talked to another coach that had him in college. And said,
he's a punt return.
That's a tough ball. He also.
That's what you told him yesterday.
You said the same thing.
Right? All I say was,
I thought you made a great point.
What I say don't make a difference. As someone who played the position his whole life, you got to ask a coach somewhere. Coach probably never even played the damn position before. I tell you the same thing yesterday. You go over my head. Don't look like I said nothing at all.
I didn't go over your head. Actually, I'm co-signing.
Second source.
A coach, yes, a second source.
He confirmed.
He didn't put it on
You
purpose.
didn't have to ask the question. When I gave you the answer, you didn't have to ask nobody else.
I didn't ask the question. It came up in conversation.
Nothing else you had to ask to nobody.
He's a journalist.
I talked to people. It came up in conversation, and he basically co-signed the same thing. I'm sorry. Co-signed what you said. But talking to coaches yesterday, they said Turpin ran a horrible route on the last play.
Barnacles.
And on the other play. And just like you talked about, he probably could have ran the route better. And which Aikman talked about. I mean, the routes are still a problem.
Okay.
He sold the vertical decently, but he could have, if he would have came more flat, that's the house.
Well,
did I lose the ball?
No,
Did she didn't give it back? She didn't get the ball back?
She still got the ball.
Well, y'all was screaming.
Oh, Clarence Hill, please.
Tote that thing.
What you got, Jill?
I'm going back to the tried and true. Going back to my agenda.
Oh.
3, 1,
Was he
3.
Did you keep him on the team?
Right there.
Don't cut him.
Right there. Right there. DeMarvion Overshown.
You can't have the 0.
You got it right.
there.
Rowdy
Go
wears
back
0.
to my agenda.
Rowdy
when you
wears
need
0.
a play.
Yeah,
at the end of the game, you need a sack at the end of the game. And you can say they didn't block it, but this guy was trying to block him. He just shot through there. Made the play, made the hit of the quarterback, got the ball back to the offense. Use Overshown as a blitzer more. That's what he did in college. He's without Michael, he still has that juice. He can get to the quarterback. Use him as a blitzer more. You need help getting to the quarterback. The one that has the juice to get there is DeMarvion Overshown 1-3.
You know what, Pop? I'm pushing your agenda too. Like no, I'm not. That's not about tote that thing. I'm co-signing to what he's saying. Okay. Because I felt that way watching the game, and I know I poo-poo on like, hey, if you give guys more reps, they'll get better, and da. He's
starting to get better.
He's starting to. You can see the wheels are starting to turn. Like, oh yeah, I've seen this before, and those keys that he's looking at it like, oh yeah, there it is again. And you can tell like the learning part of football is becoming easier for him. And so he's playing, he already plays fast,
right?
But playing fast and know where you're supposed to be going and know how to get there, I see that now starting to kind of, come to form. So this might be the one guy you talk about come December, with those reps that he's getting, can be a terrifying player for this Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's, the only thing that you would say It's just him getting off some of these blocks. But for the most part, though, you're right, Jesse. He is starting to play fast, and he's starting to see things. And I talked about it on the other podcast that I'm on. The linebackers in this room, especially the young ones, they are kind of learning on the fly. Yeah. And, I know Kendricks is here, but when he's injured, he's not on the field with them. And the linebacker position, to me, is not a position you just go out there and go, you need mentorship. You need guidance. And that's why we see them come in tandems. So him having this opportunity with Kendricks being on the field is, to me, huge for his development. And you're starting to see some good things from him, right? Yep. Get it.
Ooh. Jesse Holley, please.
Tote that thing.
We all know that I have been one that has advocated for, pushed for, announced for public shaming.
Yeah.
I appreciate public shaming. I think we should do more of public shaming, especially when it comes down to professional athletes.
Okay.
I want to continue the pledge of public shaming.
Wait, what?
So this is my I don't know what I said. My public service announcement to all you guys out there. More public shaming towards Trayvon Diggs. And the reason being, not to be mean,
coming for you.
But we saw Trayvon Diggs play some inspired football on Sunday.
Multiple people said tote Trayvon Diggs physical play.
We saw
I told you that's why he got mad at Mike Leslie, because he did what he doesn't normally do.
Trayvon Diggs play some inspired football. We saw Trayvon Diggs be aggressive. We saw him want to get into the mix of things. We didn't see him trying any tackles. We didn't see any of that. So I want to keep the pushing and the public shaming of Trayvon Diggs when he doesn't do things right, because when you get a good Trayvon, and when the teams, I guess they'll stop running the ball at us eventually, and they start passing the ball again, I need Trayvon to be that old Trayvon again. I need him to be that guy that's playing with some fire, playing with his hair on fire, playing a little pissed off. It's okay to play football pissed off. It's okay to hit the other person that has the football. All of those things are great. And Trayvon seems to only do that when he's getting a little bit of the public pressure put on him. So, hey, whatever it takes to get that Trayvon for me, do what y'all were doing a week ago to get the Trayvon that we seen against the Niners, because we will need him in Atlanta.
And you're right, because he talked about the podcast that he felt he had a good game. He talked about that on the microphone. That's why he was upset. And I get that. But you got to read the room. How have you played all season? You can't say, I had a good game, so leave me alone. I mean, a lot of times when you build a reputation of being soft, it takes more than one game to...
Not in Cowboy country.
That's true.
Not in Cowboy country.
It takes more than one game for people to forget your reputation, is all I'm saying.
Right.
It takes more than
a half-decade reputation of not wanting to tackle or be physical.
It takes more than one game for people to say, oh, yeah, he had a good game, so we're not going to get... I mean, that reputation you've earned, and you're going to have to do more than one game of tackling for people to forget that. And so you cannot act like, well, I had one good game, so how dare you call me out?
Yeah. Keep the public shaming going, people. It works.
I'll ask when we come back.
Tote the good plays in the fourth. Throw out everything on the last drive. Tote that thing. We need to seriously get Dak a runner again. That'll actually be in the next segment. Seriously, not every time, but I'll definitely keep the defense honest.
Jeff Kavanaugh.
Tote that thing. You thought you were going to get away from it?
I would like them to tote everything from that game.
They lost.
I want them to do everything.
He just want them to tank.
Lost.
Just like they did.
He just want them to tank.
They
Leave
lost.
Terrence Steele on an island every once in a while.
You can't trust him.
With somebody who's way better than him, so that we can be very certain. And there's no doubt left that he needs to be a post-June 1 cut next year.
This is a Cowboy show.
Make sure that you keep feeding Zeke and Dalvin Cook. I want those to be the guys that get the ball. You're going to average 2.9 in the game, just like they did in this game.
That's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a positive segment.
We can publicly shame
Positive.
Jerry Jones' decision-making for intentionally putting bad players on the football field. Embarrass them over and over. That when you find the other team's best weapons, make sure that all they have to do is line up Deebo Samuel in the backfield, and that'll get him man coverage against Eric Kendrick so that he gets embarrassed. Then make sure that one of the worst covering safeties in football is covering George Kittle for some big plays so that we can cut both of them, fire Mike Zimmer, and we can just reboot the whole damn thing.
Sir, this is supposed to be a positive segment.
I'm saying,
we're trying to take things to next week to win.
He ruined it.
The positive is if we shame Jerry enough, it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
Take it to the Atlanta game. Okay, check this out. I hear you, but
We got a shot next year.
B team DLLS Cowboys. We gonna talk about the draft in January.
Yeah.
In February.
People
in
like
March,
to bash the Cowboys.
In April. We don't need to. Can we talk about football at least to December?
That's what I was talking about. Terrence Steele and Donovan Wilson.
Okay. We're gonna use.
We all silly like the mayor.